Die Woche ist Parshas Vaera, und ich gehe jetzt machen, kommen jetzt alle außenwendig. Ich soll sagen in English. Let's try to do it in English. Okay. This week's Parshas is Parshas Vaera. And we speak about Paroi and how he was... What's Paroi's whole trigger? What's going on? What's his... What moves and ticks Paroi? So we know that Paroi thought of himself as a god. So Paro was very much connected to his religion. That was his driver. His main tick was, what made him tick was his religion. And we see Pusek Liya Oiri V'Liya Asasina. Paro said, I created the denial and I created myself. He thought very, very highly of himself. So it's a very interesting concept is that what makes a person tick, that's his outer lavish, right? We put on lavushim on ourselves. So let's say someone calls himself, he's a contractor. Someone says, I'm a rav, I'm a rabbi, I'm a nice guy, right? People put on outer layers on themselves and they identify with that. And that's the most dangerous part, because as soon as that wall, that lavush comes off, that's when they get triggered, and that's when they hurt people the most. So when a person is hurt, if someone hurts me, right, I could always think, what are they using to hurt me? Are they using religion? Are they using generosity? Are they using money, fame, power? Whatever they're using, that's their outer lavish. That's their stick. That's their stecken, their whip. Whatever they're using to hurt you, that is their identity. They're very much connected to that as being themselves, and they become threatened by you. So how did Paro get threatened by the Eden? With religion. Every time Hashem sent Moshe to Paro, what did he say? Something. Say Hashem sent. Who's Hashem? It's all about Hashem, serving Hashem, and that triggered Paro the most, because Paro thought of himself as a god himself, and that's why he doubled down and he became much more abusive to the Eden, because he was very much triggered by the word religion and God, because he connected him, he looked at himself, his identity was religion. And that's why so what's the difference between the Yidden and Paroi? The Yidden, they knew their self-worth. They were connected to themselves, and we still are to this day. Yidden have the strongest immune system, right? We are very strong people, we survive the worst. How? Because of three things. We didn't change our names, our language, and our clothes, our lavish, which means we didn't change our name. A person's name is their core identity. It's not Rabbi so-and-so LCSW, right? It's just the so-and-so. The person's name, the God-given name by their bris, by the Torah, that's their name. That's their identity. Now you could add Rabbi, you could add LCSW just to give you an idea, but it doesn't change the person. As soon as the LCSW changes the person, that's a big problem. So a person's name is their core identity. How do I know? There's a Gemara that says, you want to know Hashem? Anoichi. What's the acronym of Anoichi? Anoichi is Ano Nafshi Kisuvas Yehovas. You want to know who Hashem is at his core? Look at how he spells his name. He spells his name Havaya, Yid Kai Vuvka, which means present. Hashem is present. A person that lives in the present moment is a godly person. A person that doesn't get shaken, he doesn't get triggered by anything, that is a godly person. That's the power of a person's name. Again, I'm going to say it again, slowly. Ano Nafshi, me, myself, my nafesh, my soul, Kisoves Yehovas, I gave it to you with my, Yehovas, Kisoves, I gave it to you with my writing, the way I write my name, that is who I am. So that's the power of a person's name. A person that doesn't change his name, doesn't identify with the rabbi or the LCSW, I'm just giving examples, but doctor, all these things, I don't give outer layers to my name. I stay true to my name, who I am, what I was given, what was I given at birth, stay true to my core. The second thing is Lashoinam, a person's language. The tongue is the cool of the heart. You want to know a person, see what he speaks, see how he speaks, how he treats other people. Whatever he spews, that's on the inside. A person that speaks foul language, or a person that hurts other people with his tongue, has something going on deep on the inside. The person that doesn't change his tone, a person that could control what comes out of his mouth, that's, we say, anyway, okay. The third thing is the lavush. A person, just like Lashoinam, the same thing as with language is with lavush. Is a person, you could see a person by how their mode of dress. A confident person doesn't need a Rolex, doesn't need anything to put an outer layer, to put an outer identity to themselves. They're very confident with who they are. They don't have to have a gold stick and strakas. They don't need a healthy person knows who they are. They don't need other things. They don't get thrown off. I have a good story. Reb Zamir Cohen once said a story. You want to see who a person is if a person is really holy on the inside, take away the thing that he keeps himself holy with. And he said a story. There was once in a shul, there was a person living in the attic. I don't know how to call it, like I don't know, some old person, a lamed vov tzaddik. People thought of him very, very highly. All week he would stay in the attic, talis and tefillin, and learn. And Friday, he would come down by the mikveh, sit on some broken back, some wood pallet, I don't know, and people would come there Erev Shabbos and they would give them brochas. One Erev Shabbos, little kids decided to have fun with this holy lamed vov tzaddik, and they removed this pallet, this wooden pallet from in front of the mikveh. This older guy came and he started yelling, screaming. He became so offended, and he cursed all the little kids. And Rav Zalman Kure said, now you could see if he's a real tzaddik or not. He was attached, his identity was attached with giving bruchas Erev Shabbos by the mikveh. And as soon as that wooden pallet, that crate was removed and he couldn't give bruchas, his whole identity was lost. He couldn't control himself anymore. So the same thing is with lavushim. Lavushim, like we said earlier, a person that puts on outer layers, that's a person that could easily be triggered. And Klal Yisrael, as much as they were hurt in Mitzrayim, and they cried and they were upset at Moshe, but deep down at their core, and still are today, we know exactly who we are, we know our self-worth, and that's why we can do healing much faster and much easier than any other nation. That's what I truly believe that. The Yid has a much easier way, because at our core we know our self-worth. So that's why every time Hashem sent Moshe, what did he say? He said, let's serve Hashem in the midbar. Let's go 3 days with the kids. We're all going to serve Hashem. So Paro tells Moshe, okay, let's do it here in Mitzrayim. And Moshe said, no, avas Mitzrayim, nizbechol alekani, something like that. I don't remember the words exactly, but why is it avas Mitzrayim? Because who are we going to bring on the altar? We're going to bring the sheep. The thing you are worshiping, that is who we bring to our God. Your God is who we bring to our God, right? That's how Moshe kept triggering Paroi by saying, you think Paroi took it as a big trigger. He thought of himself, I'm the king, right? That's why also Hashem sent Moshe where? To Paroi on his way to the Nile to relieve himself. Because Paroi thought of himself as a god that doesn't have to go use the facilities. And Moshe and Aharon came and caught him in the act, and that triggered Paroi. It's like, how can you take off my outer layers? So this is this week's parsha. This week's parsha is, if someone is hurting you, think about it, meditate on what are they using to hurt you? What are they trying to take away from you? Two things. You have to look at both perspectives. Number one, that person, now you know who that person is really. You know what they're attached to. You know what makes them tick. And the other thing is, see in yourself, if that really bothers me, that means I have an attachment to something that's not me, right? I'm attached to the plumber, technician, doctor, lawyer, whatever I think of myself. So who are you really? You are your name. At your core, you're your internal, right? You're yourself. Ask yourself this Shabbos, ask yourself, who am I? Take away all your outer layers. Who am I on the inside? I'm a person that's kind to everybody. I speak in a soft voice to everybody. I don't judge people. I love everybody. These things are internal values, right? External values are anything you look on the outside. We need to find out who are we at our core, who are we on the inside. That's how we're not going to get triggered. You're not going to get hurt by people if you know who you are. Once you could figure out who you are on your inside, even paroi could make you chas v'shalom work slave labor, right? Could be the worst of the worst situation. You're still going to know who you are. You're not going to change your shemam l'shonim l'vishim. You're not going to need it. You're going to be so self-assured because you're going to know who you are on the inside. Nobody could take that away. Religion, someone could take away. See, that's the very deep meaning of this parsha. A person can be triggered by religion. If you tell someone that thinks of himself highly religiously, you tell him you're not a Talmud Chochem, he might freak out. He might mamash have a panic attack. Why? Because that's his hour late. I'm a Talmud Chochem, I'm a Yiras Shamayim. Right? Religion, a person has to know, I am, a person came down this world to be a human, to be a good person, a personable person, right? To be a healthy human being. That's why we came down this world. We also have to serve Hashem. It's very important to serve Hashem, and serving Hashem actually gives us the best life. But that's, if you just make it about serving Hashem without knowing who you are, you could get very easily hurt, or you could hurt other people using that because you don't know who you are. Have a wonderful Shabbos.